Hello, I'm your host, Leonard Duncan. Welcome to a new episode of ATV-TALK and Motorsports Podcast. Please join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We bring you interviews with industry professionals, live events, live news about the motorsports industry in every episode. Enjoy the show. Whether we are out riding with our friends and family or racing in extreme environments, we all need good tires. That's why I recommend GBC Power Sports Tires, a division of Greenball Corp. Their products, which include XC Master, Mini Master, and Groundbuster 3, are what leading professionals in the ATV-UTV industry are using. You can get your tires at greenballtires.com or find them on Instagram as GBC Tires for further inquiries. Are you looking for the best suspension technology for your sport ATV? Look no further than Elka Suspension, the industry leader in sport ATV suspension technology. With championship wins in prestigious events such as the Dakar Rally, SCORE, Best in the Desert, ATV-MX, Cross Country, and Works, Elka Suspension has established itself as the go-to choice for athletes and enthusiasts alike. But they don't just stop at ATVs. They're constantly expanding into new markets, including UTVs, trucks, SUVs, pit bikes, snowmobiles, and more. Their commitment to innovation and quality means they're always looking to improve and adapt so you can enjoy a smooth ride wherever you go. Want to learn more about what Elka Suspension can do for you? Visit their website at elkasuspension.com or give them a call at 450-655-4855. They will always be happy to answer your questions and help you find the perfect suspension solution for your needs. Welcome to DBR Racing Products, the leader in 3D modeling and innovations. Since 2015, they have been revolutionizing the industry, starting with their groundbreaking YFZ 450R battery boxes. But they didn't stop there. They have continued to push the boundaries, constantly improving their design with each new version. In 2018, they introduced the game-changing Vortex EXO cage, specifically designed to securely hold the Vortex ECU in a safe and sturdy location. This breakthrough innovation ensures your ECU stays protected even in the toughest racing conditions. At DBR, they understand that every detail matters. That's why they also offer an array of essential products to enhance your racing experience. Their spark plug hold downs keep your engine firing at peak performance, while their LTR breather boxes ensure optimal ventilation for your machine. Their LT250 engine skid plates are a must-have for those seeking unmatched protection. Engineered to shield your engine from impacts and rough terrain, they provide the ultimate defense for your ATV. But that's not all. They've developed ProPeg mounts that allow you to use TRX 450R Nerf bars, giving you greater control and maneuverability on the track. To explore their full range of innovative products and learn more about DBR Racing, visit their website at www.dbratv.com. You can also reach them directly at 507-828-1233. Their knowledgeable team is ready to assist you with any questions or inquiries. DBR Racing Products, where innovation meets performance. Unleash the power within you. Hey everybody, it's Leonard Duncan here. We're going to talk to a young man that races ATV-MX, Noah Arnal. He's going to be on today. But we need to thank GBC Tires, Elka Suspension, and DBR Racing for all the things that they do for us in making the podcast happen and bringing you these shows where we are going to talk to these young racers and some of the old racers and just have good conversations. So we thank you all for joining in. Oh, he's already here. Noah, how are you, buddy?
Good. How are you, Leonard?
I'm doing great, man. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late, but I got tied up at work, and you know how that is, right?
Oh, you're good.
So, what you been up to?
Nothing really. I've just been this an extra week in between rounds, and I have just been prepping for Loretta's and go out with hopefully a good round.
So, I'm going to have to go backwards a little bit with you because my information that I want is in my phone, and my phone is being used right now.
Oh, okay.
So, you're an amateur racer still, and you're still riding 250s, and you're getting ready to transfer into the 450s, correct?
Yeah. So I think I think next year we're gonna do probably Pro Sport Pro Am. Hopefully, that's the plan.
Pro Sport and Pro Am. How old are you?
15, getting ready to turn 16 soon.
Have you done much riding on the 450?
Yeah. So last winter, we actually didn't have any 250s. We sold them all from the previous year, and I just kind of trained on 450s, just a stock 450 basically with like some Nerf bars and stuff on it. We stayed at Decker's and rode for a week and did our indoors track by us, and that's basically what I rode all winter. We built our 250s. We got them done the weekend before Gatorback, so I had no time on my bikes before going into the first round.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you built them before, so you had a base idea, right?
Well, so we actually completely switched machines. Last year I was on a Honda, so a TRX KTM hybrid, and then this year we transferred to the Yamaha so I could get ready because we were deciding to switch to the Yamaha 450 because that was probably the route I was heading to. So get a year onto the new machine and just get adapted to it and dial it in. And so just give me like a year and like ahead to get used to the machine.
What'd you think of the you got to ride both chassis? What do you think of the difference in the two chassis?
They're both. When I was on the Honda, it was like, if I had to like describe it, it was like a Honda was like, it felt longer and more narrow. So like in the corners and stuff, it almost felt like it wanted to like tip kind of, or in like deep ruts and stuff. It felt like it wanted to like just tip over a little bit and stuff. But once you're on the Honda, you can like throw it into corners and like it kind of just shoots like into a corner, like wherever your bars are going, it just kind of shoots. Whereas like the Yamaha, it just feels more planted all the time, and you can kind of steer with the rear end. Like if you need like to adjust, you can kind of just like move the back end, and it just helps with cornering and everything else.
So you instantly felt more stable on the Yamaha chassis.
Yeah, it took some time getting used to. And another thing that was huge was the rear shock, the way the angle was set up, and it just going through choppy stuff, it just makes such a big difference. I'm not getting kicked as much, and it was a huge game changer, honestly.
So you're liking the Yamaha chassis better than the Honda chassis?
Yeah.
What kind of engine? Do you run the same kind of engine in each chassis?
Oh yeah, KTM 250.
And you like that power?
Yeah. I've never rode anything else. We just kind of had like KTMs, and that's all we've run, and they've been super reliable, knock on wood, and yeah, they've been pretty good to us.
So are you going to run hybrid style Yamaha in the 450 class? Or you're going to run stock?
No, I think we're going to do Yamaha YFC, but we might do, I don't know yet. We might throw a KTM 450 in one of the bikes and race it in Pro Sport. But I think we're probably just going to go YFZ route, just to really like get dialed in on like what I'll be racing in pro in a few years.
You're focused in on that pro mark, right?
Oh yeah, that's the goal. You got to try and get there.
Right. There was some chat. There was some talk about amateur titles and how many you had versus how many Bryce Ford had. Where is that at, or what was that about, and what was the count?
So I think Bryce Ford has 12. I mean, that's what his Instagram bio says, so I'm not sure how true that is, which I mean, if you put it in your social media bio, it's got to be true. But I locked up 2 last weekend, and that put me at 14 amateur titles.
And nobody, to anybody else's knowledge, is one more?
I don't think so. I'm not sure how many Joel I'm not sure how many anyone else has. I just know Bryce has 12. Mason is up there. I think he's got 11 or 12 too. So, yeah.
Well, he could add 2. He could add 2 to the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not to change the subject. That guy, coming off of an injury, that guy's on fire, man.
Oh yeah, he's been doing amazing. I remember, my first year on racing 250s, he that was like the guy to beat. Like, I remember having so many battles with him, and the kid's just crazy. I got to go practice with Mason one time before one of the nationals up at one of his local tracks, and he's flying, man. Like, he's going to be a critical guy going into pro class in these next year or two.
Well,
he decides to move.
I heard he's only 17.
Yeah, I think he turns 18 soon. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think once he's in pro class, whether it's next year or the fall, like, he's gonna be one of the guys to threaten for that top 10 spot, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you never know. Yeah. I just know that transition from pro-am to pro is, hey, my daughter just checked in. Wow. Hi, Juliana. She doesn't listen very often, but that's pretty awesome that she checked in. The transition from pro-am to pro is a drastic difference. You're talking about, 8 to 12 more minutes on the track, which is a whole race, a whole nother race. And you have to maintain the speed. So I don't think Mason doesn't have the speed, but does Mason have the speed
just to keep that intensity for another 5 or almost? They run 13 plus
12 more minutes.
Yeah, they run 13 plus 2, I think.
It's 12 minutes. 12. I mean, it's 20. Isn't it 20 minutes or 20 laps plus 2 or something like that?
Pros run 18 plus 2, and I think pro-am runs 13 plus 2. So that's another 4-ish laps that they're on the track that you got to maintain that intensity.
That's if it's 2-minute lap times.
Yeah.
That's 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to, I forget who I was talking to. I think I was talking to Max Lindquist, and I was wondering if they took the pro-am and did progressions in time. So at the end of the year, they're running almost a pro moto, but they let you guys work up to it. They're not just jumping you, that many minutes in one. They maybe just at the halfway point, jump it up, 2 minutes or 3 minutes, to give it a longer moto to give you guys that are going to transition.
Yeah. Give them like a little bit of a little taste of what.
Taste.
Yep. I mean, I'm not sure. I feel like they kind of would have to keep it the same just for the class. But I mean, if that'd be something they would do, just halfway through a season at one round, just move it, and you just add another 2 minutes or another 2 laps or whatever it may be. Just add that extra little time and just give those guys just a little bit.
You're going to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
And if you're going to prep for the pro class, I mean, let's prep for the pro class.
Yeah.
At the end, the last 3 rounds or so of the year should be longer motos, elevating your game for that transition.
Yeah. You just gotta, that also, you gotta take that in your own, take your own hands for your own training to get ready for that pro class. I know right now I'm doing way longer motos than what I'm even running right now, just knowing I'm going to be running so many more laps next year.
Right. Well, you're young right now too. So you're, indestructible and you know, that youth that you have, that, you know, you still think you're immortal. It will change, you know, you will start to get tired at some point. So
Yeah. I don't know about the immortal stage anymore, but I think I think I've grown past that point. I know, just like with like stupid, like little injuries and all that. And, you know, just putting in hard hard extra time into training, just like, it just kind of like almost humbles you and wants you to make you like work harder. So you're not that tired going like, next time you go work out or next time you go do a 25 minute moto, you want to make sure you last all the way through.
right. Joel Etrick just checked in.
The real 88.
Yeah, exactly. The man, the myth, the legend. So let's talk a little bit about your training. Do you do most of it in motos, or are you working out in the gym or cycling? I mean, what are you setting yourself up for?
I mean, I'm not gonna try to give away all my secrets, but like I do a lot of training in the gym because I just don't have we don't have a lot of tracks by where I am. We used to have a local track, and I actually got quads kicked out of there because it was like a club thing owned by a lot of bike riders, and they just didn't appreciate the quads up there, I guess. So we didn't. I don't really.
Wait a minute. I don't think it was they didn't appreciate the quads. They didn't appreciate a young kid coming in there on a quad and destroying all these men. You know, you hurt their egos probably.
We'll let them let them decide that. But I spend a lot of time in the gym. I try to just stay in there because we don't have any tracks around by me to really ride. We actually our one guy has a track now that I can go ride a couple of days a week, he said. And but yeah, just a lot of time in the gym, a lot of cardio, not high weight training, and just, yeah.
When you do cardio, what exactly are you doing?
I try to keep it. I try to mix it up. I try to do some row. Like, I won't do the same cardio every day. Like, some days I'll cycle, some days I'll go on a run, some days I'll row, or, you know, just like depending. It just kind of depends, like what day of the week it is and when I'm there or where I'm at.
And do you have trouble motivating yourself to go to the gym?
Oh, absolutely not. I don't know. I just kind of have this thing. It's just like I'll like go back and like look at like old videos from like the season, like beginning of the season and stuff. Be like, just kind of like judge myself on like where I could have been better, and it just like it motivates me more to like want to be better and just keep going.
So let me ask you this. It's an old question. You're only 15, so you're still really young in comparison. I have a grandson your age, so it tells you how old I am. How did you find ATV racing, or is it something that your dad was doing that you just took up?
Yeah,
or
my dad did race, and we were just out there, or I honestly don't really remember, but I just know he went and bought me a quad and during the winter time, and went to my local indoor, and just ever since then I've loved it and just want to keep doing it.
Does your dad get to ride very much, or is it just mainly you now?
No, he just watches me. He tried going out like last year. He tried racing me, and it didn't go very well.
Don't rub it in too much now. You know, it's not going to work out. It's not going to be beneficial. I'm just telling you. You know, my son tries to rub it in too, but I can still beat my son. We're just because we're both slow. That's just the whole problem, you know. So you started racing on the indoor. Was the indoor a somebody said redemption at Loretta's? I didn't catch it, but you started racing indoors and then moved to outdoor motocross, or was it just all indoor at first?
It was just a local indoor track that we had like to ride during the winter and stuff. And then like once that summer came around, we transitioned to like our local outdoors and stuff and basically started there.
How long did it take you before you went to a national?
So I got my quad in 2013. I raced our local series
Bryce
for
Ford,
a whole.
what's up?
What's up, Bryce? And then I raced my local series for a year, and then 2015 Muddy Creek was my first national.
2013.
2015.
2015. I'm sorry. Wow. So you really, well, you have been racing quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a long journey.
So how many of the guys? So you've raced against some of the guys that are older than you, and how many of the guys your age, or how many of the people? Because there are some ladies that race as well, and they're mixed in there. How many of them are still in the same group? You know, there are 4 or 5 of you that are always battling with each other, racing back and forth.
So if I were to think of like 50 days, there's not very many people. Landon Korn is one of the kids I've raced since we first started nationals. 2018, me and Vincent Dillon, like these are like that's us in like 250 class battling for that like top spot basically. I can't really think of much people else. I just know like I raced some kids for like a couple years at a time, like 3-4 years at a time. Like I remember when I first got into shifter in like 2017, I was racing guys like Mason Jackson, Grant Olson, like Ian Juka, like all these guys, and I was like 2-3 years younger than them, and I'm like on the gate with all these guys, like so scared, first year shifting, but it's just kind of there's like a couple people like I've raced throughout the years. Like once I move up a class, they'll be like older in it, and then once they age out, it's kind of like me, like becoming the older one, and then there's newer guys coming into the class.
Right. So you got guys like Aaron and Bryce and Jackson, and there's Max. All these guys know each other and have been around each other for a number of years, and they may have raced with each other shortly as one progresses out or doesn't. So you have friends like that as well.
Yeah. And it's cool because like you'll see like I remember racing Mason on like a 90, and then he was aging out of the 90 going to 250 and super mini and all that stuff. And then once I was ready for the 250, he was like getting ready to age out of 250, and it was like kind of cool because like every couple years I get to race them, like going up through the classes and stuff.
That's pretty cool. Josh Merritt, what's up, buddy? So when you look to the pro class, and don't give me the obvious answer, when you look to the pro class, the guys that you're watching ride, obviously everybody watches Joel and Chad, but if you're looking at those other guys, who are you thinking that you're going to watch in a moto if you can't watch Joel or Chad?
Man, I don't know. That's such a hard question. I mean, it just depends on when the moto is. I'm watching like 1 through 5, but like mid moto, I'm watching like the 3 or 4 through like 7 spot. You got like just like this bunch of battle and all these guys like together, just like get like just going at each other.
Is it exciting to watch the pro class because of that mid-pack battle?
Yeah, just like even at the beginning of the race, like it's crazy. Like everyone's going back and forth from like first to third to second to fourth to like all these other spots. It's just like it's just exciting to watch, honestly.
Has it always been exciting like that, or have you noticed that it's getting better and better throughout the upcoming years?
I mean, it's honestly gotten a lot better, like just like getting like people like advancing in their training and like bike setup and like all this other thing. Like everyone's on the Yamaha and all this other like just like little things like that, and everyone's dialing in their machine and figuring out their machine, and it's like not one person has that like big advantage on someone else.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everybody racing the same machine, and a lot of the engine builder designs have bounced back and forth. So there's almost no real clear cut advantage.
Yeah, it almost like, I mean, honestly, it almost comes down to like who's taking their training the most seriously and who's putting in like the right work, I guess.
Well, half the class trains under Brandon Hogue.
Yeah, with on the box performance. I mean, Joel swears by, like, he swears by that, like that training regimen. He completely swears by it.
Well, you got Joel, you got Logan Stanfield's doing it. Gosh, I was just talking to somebody else that was doing it as well. I mean, there's just so many of the guys. Aaron Salinas is doing it. I mean, so many of the guys are doing that training. I got to talk to Brandon about it, and he's a whole new level. Is there somebody there with you?
Yeah, my uncle was coming over from across the street.
Nice. Tell him I said hi.
Hey, Leonard Duncan said hi. Big ATV guy from back in the day. Still is today.
You don't care. So how much of your family comes and watches you race?
It's me. So we go to the races regular. It's usually me, my dad, and my brother. My stepmom will come sometimes when she can get off work. My mom will come sometimes when she gets off work. But yeah, it's usually me, my dad, and my brother.
Nice. How old's your brother?
13. I think.
So does he race too?
Yeah, he races. He raced 250 for the part of the year, and then got a 90 and went back to the 90 classes because he's a little smaller, so he's a little on the 250 right now.
Okay. Felipe Velez from San Felipe, the number 1A guy down there, just checked in and is listening in. So if you follow the Score Racing or Baja, the king down there, that's him. So he just checked in to hear what you have to say. Pretty cool stuff, huh? You're getting a wide range of people that are listening from cross-country, desert, motocross. Pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd like to go race a GNCC maybe once, or like some sort of desert race. I think it'd be like a cool little thing to do once.
Well, they're two totally different things.
Yeah, but I just to get a taste of something else other than motocross. I think that'd just be a fun experience.
I think it would round you out as a rider. If you get to go take your motocross experience to off-road or desert or even to the woods, I'm not sure how well your motocross skill set would roll into the woods, but I know if you go to off-road or into the desert, you can take that skill set and use it to your advantage. A lot of fast motocross guys that went to the desert and done really, really well. So I don't know which of the motocross guys have went to the woods and done super well. I know Joel's raced a few, and a few other guys have.
I think Chad raced Ironman a while back, like maybe 2016 or 17. I'm not sure how he finished, but I know he did race that. I think he pulled the whole shot too, actually, and was leading for a bit.
Oh, that would be awesome to see, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
Well, you just got the three-wheeler, the West Coast three-wheeler champ just checked in as well. So if you really want to get crazy, you could come out and race a three-wheeler in the desert.
I remember watching those things at Unadilla. Those things were sending sky shot. That was like the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, that they need a counselor because you shouldn't be doing that.
Those guys are crazy.
So your future goals are to run in the pro class. And I know that you're coming from a hybrid world. What do you think of the rule where they're going to have the production pro-am guys need to ride production bikes? You think that's a positive or a negative?
I mean, I don't know, because personally it wouldn't necessarily affect me. I was leaning toward the YFZ route anyway, like the quad motor. But I feel like it kind of kills like a little bit of the class, like with the guys running Honda CRF hybrids and like like the Walsh hybrids and the Yamaha YZ hybrids. I feel like it kind of like kills a little bit of the class, like like it like just having that hybrid added to that class. It almost like just like kind of intensifies it. You got a dirt bike motor and just people. It's very diverse, I should say.
Do you think that that the hybrid's a clear-cut advantage?
I mean, I don't know, because a lot of I don't know, because I've seen there were the hybrids this year. I've seen I've seen quads, like quad motors pull hole shots. I've seen hybrids pull hole shots. I think when you got a hybrid, there's not a lot you can do with it because they come out of the bike already so fast. Like if you do any more to it, it might just be like too much power.
Is that? Did you guys have to do a lot to your KTM 250s to make more horsepower out of them?
So like with the 250s, I feel like there's not really a lot you can do to them to make them faster. Like you can do like stuff like tumble gears and like you could put cams in them and like just stuff like that, but they won't get faster like the 450s will when they're moving from, what are they stock, like 38 horsepower stock or something like that.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I think they're like 38 or 40 stock, and then you're going to like high 50s, low 60s. Like that's a big jump, where like a 250's moving from like 39 to like 43, maybe 45, something like that, maybe.
It's a noticeable difference, especially, well, you're also pushing a heavy chassis with that 250 motor.
Yeah.
So that hurts you to a point. I got to have a conversation with Mike Walsh that's going to come out here in an episode here in the future, where he put that KTM 300 two-stroke in a chassis. They're going to race it in cross country. I think they should bring back a hybrid two-stroke pro class. Oh
yeah, was that his white and orange one? Yep. I think I've seen. Yeah, that thing looks gnarly. That thing looks sweet.
I'm not necessarily an orange fan, but that's neither here nor there. I haven't got to ride the 300 yet, but I am salivating to go do it because I want to ride it in motorcycle form, quad form, and three-wheeler form. I hear nothing but great things about that engine platform, and I want to try it out to see how much fun it really is to ride. You look at the videos, which I'm no different than you. I'm a kid in a candy store when you get some of those cool videos going, and you got guys that are my size, maybe 5'7" to 5'9", where they can put their foot down, pivot the machine, and turn it up or downhill, and the power allows you to ride it. So if we could bring that style power to an ATV and then put it in a chassis and get these guys out there on the motocross track again, I think it would be incredible to have a two-stroke pro class.
Yeah, I think that'd be sweet, but can you ride the 300s like in any class at a national? I don't like Loretta Lynn's and stuff like that. I don't know if they actually like make a class just for the 300. Because I think honestly,
your dad's telling me to ask you about, and sorry about it, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize. To hold your thought though, don't lose it. Your dad's telling me to ask you about 2021, the 150 KTM two-stroke. So what was that?
A buddy of ours was coming from a super mini, and they kind of wanted to stay on the two-stroke route. And they put a 150 KTM 150 two-stroke in a mid-size JB chassis, and because you can bore it up to I think almost a 200 or something. That's what the rules say, and that thing was pretty sweet.
Nice. Can you see that riding on the screen? No, there's a bunch of. Well, I wanted to see what was said, so it has all the chat, and when the chat comes in on my side, it covers you up. And I just wondered if it's on your side over there. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
So, did you like that 150?
I mean, it was pretty fast. I feel like it just didn't have like necessarily the torque. Like up top, it was pretty quick. Like it compared to the 250. But I would have liked to see it in like a full size frame because I was on a TRX 450 chassis at that time, and like just getting onto the big bike, and that was in like a mid size, which was like a little bit smaller than the JD, like the 90s, and the big frame.
Well, wouldn't it? If you're going to ride that 150 though, in that 2-stroke, you'd want it in a smaller chassis because I don't think that 150's got enough HP to pull that big chassis around, especially with your 250 motors, the 4-strokes that have so much better drive coming out of the turn than that 2-stroke's going to have.
Yeah, and that was like we kind of put two and two together on why they put it in the midsize. I just wasn't necessarily a fan of the midsize chassis and how it handled, which was why I was like kind of curious to see how it would do in the big chassis. The horsepower difference wasn't actually too far off. Like it put pretty close numbers to the 4-stroke, the 250 4-stroke, but I think
it can have a similar horsepower number, but that torque number, there's no way that 2-stroke's got the same torque number.
Yeah, no, that's why I was like still even in the midsize, it just didn't have the bottom the 4-strokes did.
Right. That's one of the reasons why you look at athletes in general. Chad Wienen, his career is extended because of 4-strokes. And the same that happened when Doug Eichner was racing out here on the West Coast. He was almost 50 years old when he retired.
Yeah.
It's a long, long way away from where you are, but so short-term goals.
Oh, short-term goals. So we're going to Pro Sport Pro-Am, which is the plan next year. I honestly don't really have any expectations going into that class. It's been a while. Like there's some guys in there like Tino, Ian Juka, Mason, like those guys. I've raced on the 250s before, but just being on a 450, it's a whole new ball game. Like I really don't have any expectations for myself going into it. Like I don't expect like a top 5 or a top 7 like overall for the season, but I just want to go out there and kind of get my feet wet, I guess.
How big of an individual are you?
What do you mean?
How tall are you? How much you weigh?
Like 5'8", like 148.
Oh, so you're not super small. No. By no means. So you're definitely big enough to handle the 450.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was thinking you were a little shorter than that. But yeah, that I see no reason, if you've practiced on them, I see no reason why you can't transition in there. And if you train hard enough, you should be able to roll right into that class. Because right now there's no clear-cut person going to the pro class.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, just like the whole extra laps, like the whole, just the whole intensity, how deep that field is, like lining up on the gate, not knowing necessarily what to expect out of somebody, and just knowing that it's going to be a high intensity race for those whole 8 laps, 9 laps, however many it is. But like, I think where I strive with like Youth All-Star and stuff, like that extra lap, because we run 5 laps in Youth All-Star and we only do 4 in 250 mod and Schoolboy Senior, just that extra 2 minutes on the track, honestly, just kind of like shows where my like best strength is at with like that extra time on the track. So going to the Pro Sport Pro-Am, hopefully 6 or 7 laps maybe benefits me more than what I'm thinking of right now.
I'm kind of thinking to agree with that. I think you're going to do better than you think you're going to do, because once you get comfortable, other than you're going to be riding with young men that have already been there, so they've pushed their way through a little bit. That you'll have a transition there. Mentally, your transition is the biggest problem, because you're not going to adapt to it immediately, and you're going to psych yourself out a little bit. So if you can get your mental game under control, I think that you're going to do well. But Joseph Chambers and Mason Jackson and JJ Launderville, these guys, Blair Miller, these guys are no slouches, and they're not going to give it up easy. There's a couple other names in there that I missed. So, guys, I'm apologizing. Don't get mad at me. You have 5 or 6 guys in each one of those classes that are super fast. And remember, they're all trying to prove themselves. So if you go out there and stick your chest out a little bit and get a little froggy with them, I think that you're going to do well.
Yeah, that's why I'm just kind of like trying to stay relaxed. Like going in there, I'm gonna try and stay relaxed. Just kind of like know like expectations for myself, and just go out and ride, and maybe that'll help me do better, and not necessarily like play a mental game.
Let me give you a pointer. Expectations are great. You need to have them. You need to have goals. You need to have realistic goals, but you have to have goals. So when you go into the class, you have to set yourself a goal standard, because if you go in thinking, oh, that guy's going to beat me and that guy's going to beat me, it's not going to work for you. You go in and say, pick your position. This is where I'm going the first time out. And if you do better than that, you're like, all right, so now I've already beat my second goal. So my third goal is here. And then you're always climbing that ladder till you roll up on the starting line going, I'm the guy to beat. All of these guys here are racing for second. I'm taking first. And you know who does that? Joel Hetrick does that. He doesn't go to the starting line thinking that he's going to get anything but first.
Yeah, that's true.
So you need to change your mindset a little bit. You need to have goals and expectations, because it's going to prepare you mentally. Things may happen, and your goal may be 8th, and something happens, you get in a tangle and you get 12th. Okay, that wasn't a fair assessment, because things happen. Yeah. But things may not happen, and you end up 6th. And you're like, hey, all right, I got this, and you'll develop faster with a positive outlook to roll yourself forward. So don't shortchange yourself ever. I think that's something that the modern day racer does, is they mentally take themselves out of the game. And I don't want to see you do that. I want you to put yourself mentally in the fight right from the beginning. You belong. I'm supposed to be here. All of you guys are old. Get out of my way. Let me go do my thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with you with all of that. But obviously I go in, hopefully go in with expecting like a top 10 in the first race. So I do better than that, then we'll just play it race by race and just change expectations.
Yep, exactly. But and remember, at this point still you're racing for a trophy, so make sure it's fun too.
Yeah.
Hey brother, I'm going to have a longer form with you later.
Okay.
But I appreciate you coming on. You're not done building your amateur showcase as far as your trophy case. So don't think that you're done putting championships on the wall for Dad. I really enjoy having the conversation. For a young guy to be as vocal as you are is awesome. Just like when you did the pre-race report with Leon and I, dude, you got a future because you can talk.
Yeah, I mean, just like, I don't know. It's just been like a easy thing, just being able to like go on and like share thoughts and stuff. It's just it's almost like natural, I guess.
That's excellent for you. That's going to help you in the future. Hey, who would you like to shout out? Because I'm sure that there's people that are helping you that don't always get the shout out that some of the pro guys get to. So who's taking care of you?
Oh gosh, there's just so many people, honestly. Like if you look at my bike, like there's so many sponsors, like, and everyone just helping out. Like my first and foremost, my mom, my dad, and my whole like family, like being able to like sacrifice the things they do to let me like go pursue my dream. And then like TDR, Todd West from E-Racing, like those guys are like they get me there.
Good. That's good. I'm glad that you got a great support. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, you're okay. JB Racing, like those guys, like those are what keep me going.
That's awesome. Keep those long-term relationships, and I think you got a great career ahead of you. I want to talk more about the advancement into the 450s, but we're too premature. We're going to have to talk about it next year when you're actually riding them. You're already developing a program with it. So good luck to you. And you're always welcome here on ATV-TALK. So if you have something that you need to get out, make sure you reach out to us. We're always available. Obviously, your dad's got my number now, and he can text me, and my email address, so you can get a hold of me. My phone number is on some of the stuff for the website or for the podcast, so you can always get a hold of me anytime, anyway.
All right. Well, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to doing another podcast, and hopefully we'll stay in touch, and we'll do one once I'm in the on the 450, and with a couple more, maybe a couple rounds in, and just see how things are going.
Chad, I really appreciate it.
The team here at ATV-TALK would love your feedback. Please email us at hello@atvtalkpodcast.com.
If you're in need of a consultation for your current racing program, a custom ATV, or an industry guest speaker, I have the company for you. Duncan Technologies International Inc. offers host, MC, and guest speaking services at events, builds custom ATVs for recreational riding or racing around the world, and they offer consulting services for professional teams or individual racers. Send inquiries to duncantechinternational@gmail.com or call 619-716-1532 for more information. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to share us with your family and friends. The podcast is available on all streaming platforms, and you can find us on social media as ATV-TALK Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter